He stood in front of people who were laughing at him. Not loudly and not openly cruel, but just enough to make him feel small. They whispered, they smiled at each other, and one of them shook his head as if to say he would never be enough. And he felt it again, that tight pressure in his chest, that strong urge to prove them wrong. For years, that was his life. Every insult became fuel. Every doubt became a challenge. Every laugh became a reason to work harder and show results. He told himself that one day he would succeed so much that they would regret laughing at him. But no one told him that when you live to prove others wrong, you are still living for them. Even your success belongs to them. He thought he was strong because he never gave up, but deep inside, he was exhausted. Tired of performing, tired of explaining, tired of carrying the invisible weight of other people's opinions. It started when he was young, when he brought home a drawing and someone said, "It's nice, but you can do better." When he scored good marks and someone asked, "Why not full marks?" When he shared an idea and people smirked. Slowly he learned that being himself was not enough. He had to improve, impress, and prove. So he became careful with his words, careful with his clothes, careful with his dreams. He chose goals that sounded impressive instead of goals that felt meaningful. He said yes when he wanted to say no. He laughed at jokes that hurt him. He agreed with opinions he didn't believe in, all to avoid that look of disappointment, that look of judgment, that look of doubt. He became addicted to approval. On social media, it became worse. He would post something and wait, refresh the page, check the likes, check the comments. If the numbers were low, his mood dropped. If the numbers were high, he felt powerful for a few minutes. Then the feeling faded, because approval is temporary. The more you seek it, the more you need it. One evening, after a long day of trying to impress everyone, he sat alone in his room. There were no notifications, no messages, no noise, just silence. And in that silence, he felt something uncomfortable. He felt empty, not sad, not angry, just empty. He asked himself a question he had never asked before. If nobody doubted me, if nobody judged me, what would I actually want? The answer did not come easily, because he had built his life around reactions. He realized he was not afraid of failing, he was afraid of being seen as a failure. He wasn't chasing success, he was running from shame, and those are very different things. The next day, when someone criticized his work, he felt the usual urge to defend himself, to explain every detail and prove why he was right. But this time, he paused. He listened. He simply said, "Okay," and stopped there. His heart was beating fast, but nothing terrible happened. The moment passed. That was the first time he understood that not every opinion requires a reaction. After that, he began noticing how often he tried to prove himself in small daily situations. When choosing clothes, he thought about what others would say. When choosing career options, he thought about what would look impressive. When speaking, he tried to sound intelligent instead of honest. He was always performing, and performance is exhausting. So he made a quiet decision to stop proving. Not stop improving, but stop proving. He started small. When he disagreed with someone, he calmly shared his opinion once and did not argue if they refused to accept it. He allowed people to misunderstand him. It felt uncomfortable, almost like losing, but he slowly realized that silence is not weakness and walking away is not defeat. He began saying no without long explanations. Some people were surprised, some were annoyed, and a few drifted away. It hurt, but the people who stayed respected him more. He understood that if you spend your life trying to change people's opinions, you will never build your own life. He changed the question in his mind. Instead of asking, "What will they think?" he started asking, "Can I respect myself after this?" That question became his guide. When someone mocked his ideas again, he did not feel the same fire to prove them wrong. When someone doubted him, he did not rush to show evidence. He kept working quietly. He stopped sharing every goal and stopped trying to look successful before actually becoming successful. He realized that there will always be someone unimpressed, no matter what you achieve. If you listen to everyone, you will become no one. Slowly, the pressure reduced. He still cared about growth, but he stopped tying his worth to applause. He no longer wanted to stand in front of people who were laughing and feel desperate to prove himself. If they laughed, he let them. If they doubted him, he let them. His life stopped being a courtroom where he had to defend himself every day and became a workshop where he could build quietly. The day he stopped seeking approval did not happen dramatically. There was no announcement and no applause. It was just a quiet shift inside him from "let me prove myself" to "I have nothing to prove." And in that quiet shift, he finally found freedom.